Hey everybody, I'm just gonna give it a minute here as usual. Let the live stream, there we go, the YouTube side catch up a little bit. I'm wearing my glasses tonight just because I had them on earlier. I was watching some TV and gaming from on the couch. I could actually see the TV from the couch now. um, it's quite something. I'm getting actually to the point where I almost never want to take these off. It's just I wear them to work. I wear them when I'm driving. And when I'm not wearing them, then it bothers me. I can't see the TV from the couch. I can't see like a menu. Well, not like a handheld menu, but a menu like a board. If I go to McDonald's, for example, I can't read the boards very well. So I'm pretty much always wearing these glasses now. So you guys are going to see them a lot more. I will admit, though, I almost broke them within the last week. Not used to them just yet. I took them off to Rough House with Rocky. And in the process, I put him down on the bed right where he tends to jump up. So we rough house. I forget that I took them off because not used to them yet, and left them there all day. Thank God they bend a little bit in the opposite direction, because when I went to go to bed that night, I saw Rocky had jumped on them and bent them backwards just a little bit. So very lucky that I did not break my glasses already. But I had a very eventful week. I see Nate was in here first, so I gotta try to be first this week in his live stream. I've been trying, but no excuse. I will say life has been hectic lately, especially in this last week. Oh my God, has it been extremely eventful, from great to horrible and everything in between. But overall, by the end of the week, it was all kind of good news and good stuff. So I can't wait to dive a little bit deeper into the week here. I see Lucky stopping in. Hey, Lucky, thank you for stopping in and watching. Hope all has been well. Oh, let me see here. I'm trying to. There we go. Because I had somebody ask me this question the other day about my subscribers. Am I close to hitting the 1,000 goal that I set for 2023? Yes and no. I would say over the last 365 days, I have gotten more subscribers than I ever had on this channel. I could even look up the exact amount here if you give me just a minute. But they were asking, do I think, 370 subscribers in the last year, which is up 164% from the previous 365 days. And then prior to that is really when I started the channel. And I'd like to think that my content has gotten a little bit better since then. So, I don't know if I'm going to hit 1,000 by the end of the year yet, but we're getting there, and it has been a pretty good year with that as well. So let's dive right in here. I see Nate. I see Lucky. We have a couple people in the house here. I know there's a couple that like to watch, but they don't type in chat. That is completely fine as well. Thank you for watching. Those who rewatch later on, thank you for watching. And I'm learning. Williams always reminds me of this, but don't forget to give the thumbs up. I did get some TRE ATS for Rocky, so he'll probably get a couple of those tonight. I've been giving him a lot today to make up for the past half week that I was completely out. He was not very happy with me. But how do you guys want me to do this? I had a very eventful week. Do you want me to go from the beginning of the week to the end of the week? Do you want me to say the good? Do you want me to start with the bad? Where do you want me to start? Hey, Nancy, thank you for stopping in. Good timing. I was basically just talking about my glasses and giving it a little bit for people to join. I don't know why, but whenever I do my StreamYard, I posted this probably 6 hours ago and it never shows up on YouTube very well. So I need to get in the habit of creating it on StreamYard and then creating a post sharing it so people have access to it. I don't know. I don't like how it's kind of been last minute and I don't understand it, but appreciate it. Yeah, I was basically just killing a couple minutes as usual, but very eventful week. Good, bad, ugly, amazing. What would you guys like to hear first? You guys always mix it up, so. Which, again, there was some horrible news in there, but it turned out okay. I will say that. So, don't stress. Good news is Rocky got his treats as well, so we got some treats. There we go. It's like lagging on my end. Is it lagging for you guys? Nancy is saying get the bad over with. I hope if it does lag for you guys, let me know. It seemed to lag really bad there for a minute. The college, speaking of some bad, this is not exactly where I was going to go down the route, but getting the bad over with. The college has been having internet issues, and we have yet to figure it out. So that's kind of impacting my classes as well as some of my residents, as well as you can see, the live streams on occasion. But it's not horrible. It's very off and on. I have been able to do most of my college work. So one of the bad things that happened this week is come Tuesday, I guess not really even notified. I discovered that I was supposed to be in an extra class this semester. I am enrolled for 3 classes when I should have been enrolled for 4. Because I did not enroll for this 4th class, it throws everything out of whack. It's from like having to reapply for financial aid, for like to do the class. It just completely messes up the schedule. In spring, I wanted to get my degree, and not taking this one class throws all of that out the window. So, on a good note, Wednesday I walked in and I basically talked to several staff members and I said there was a mistake made with my class schedule. I'm not in this class and it's only offered during the fall. I need it. Like, what do I do? Well, come to find out, this class is only 8 weeks long, and we just ended week 11. So this is during week 11, and I'm thinking I'm only 2.5 weeks behind because it started on week 8. So that's a little bit of good news already. I talked to all these people, and as a staff member, I get free tuition here. My financial aid already paid for all of the fees that would have been associated with taking this class because I'm already taking 3 other classes. So I was able to get added into the system late and get added into the class. Now, that's good news. The bad news is the class is currently finishing as of today. The class was currently finishing assignment number 7 out of 11 total. So now I have to try to play catch up during one of the busiest times of year for both the job and classes and life in general. Not good. But going back to some good news with just the class, as you guys can see, I'm flip-flopping already, and we're just talking about one class here. Bad news, good news, bad news. The good news is I sat down today, this morning, and within half a day, I finished all 11 assignments. And I do feel pretty confident about all of them. It was JavaScript programming. So if anyone knows programming, I'm not going to go deep into detail, but basically JavaScript is a branch off. It's an addition to HTML programming, which I already had learned during the first 8 weeks of the semester, which that class is officially done and I got my grade for. I am at a 98.5% in that class. That is my official final grade for that class. So doing well so far. Let's see here before I keep going. That's what we're thinking, Lucky, but we're still having issues with it. Without going deep into details, we've tried a lot of different things and lots of issues. So, yep, making arrangements with the professor. Basically, they told me that if I did need extra time, we could try to figure something out. But the tricky part with that would be if it wasn't finished at the end of the semester, then it becomes like an independent study type deal. And then it's going into when I plan on using vacation time because I want to take a week off prior to leaving for Europe to just kind of relax and get all my ducks in a row and know that everything is going to be okay. Double check, triple check, quadruple check everything. So that way I'm not stressing because obviously as I'm talking about it, you guys could probably tell I'm stressing a little bit, but it's my first really, outside of Canada, my first international trip. It's a big deal. I need to make sure everything's going okay. I need to make sure all of the little things are taken care of. I need to make sure Rocky's taken care of, etc., etc. So I did it. I finished that. I got a good grade in the other class. I'm confident about this one. So that is part of what I dealt with this week. Negative, good, negative, good, negative, good. You could probably see how it's already a roller coaster. I see Lucky asking a question here. Rockstar isn't going to that place again, right? Absolutely not. He is going to, I will actually call him out by name. They are T&M Kennels in Rhinelander, which is about a 2.5 hour drive from here, but it is $25 per day for him. They have grooming, professional grooming on site. They could give him a bath. They can trim his nails, all which that stuff costs additional. I do pay that additional. I like to treat it like a spa day for him, especially because I never trim his nails, unfortunately. I know lots of people say you should keep up on that. He does not like me trying to, I can't. I just can't. But they can. They can. And they did an amazing job last time. He loved it. And the pay, like I said, $25 a day, not bad at all. At this point, it is 14 days, give or take, that I am boarding him, though. So that's going to add up to a little bit more, plus the baths, plus the professional grooming, plus the nail trim. But it's going to be a nice little vacation for Rocky as well. I do see on the YouTube side it's taken a second, Lucky, but you're saying most pups and kittens don't like their paws messed with. Absolutely the case. Rocky will give you his paw and shake. He'll do high fives, stuff like that. But yeah, don't even try to mess with his nails. He hates that. So that's part of my week already. Already a little bit of a roller coaster because I'm panicking, thinking I'm not going to get in this class. And then I'm panicking, thinking that all this work and all this stress has been for nothing because I'm not going to graduate with the degree and all of that stuff. Nancy's bringing up a good point about Rocky too, saying that he doesn't have separation anxiety. At least the last time it was 7 days. So we are doubling how long it's going to be. But the last time I had him boarded, he absolutely loved it, and he didn't want to leave with me almost. He was so excited to be around other dogs and play with other dogs. And unfortunately, being back up here, that's just something that I haven't gotten to do as much as I used to when I was on the road. I used to let him play with dogs all the time, and he used to socialize. And unfortunately, that's not much of an option anymore. Casey loses her mind when her paws are messed with. Yeah, you gotta be careful. They will scratch you, they will bite you. They do not like their paws being messed with, their nails. Okay, so that's part of the bad news. The other bad news, which only a couple people know, and the reason I am mentioning it now is because the test came back and it is negative, so I am okay. I want to start it off with that. I am 100% okay. I feel okay. Health-wise, I'm doing okay. I do have a small issue that I've been dealing with for a while now. And over the past week, it did seem to get a little bit more severe. And I can't really share much details about the stuff I'm dealing with, but I had some concerns, so I went back into the hospital again, and this is actually something that I went into the hospital for back in July, after our Pictured Rocks trip, actually, with Captain Jack and Nate and Kyle. Upon returning home, I did a couple visits with the hospital, and they could never pinpoint anything, and they basically just sent me home every single day and never gave me any relief, really. So I've been dealing with it, thinking that maybe it was going to go on its away on its own. It hasn't. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. I haven't been myself, in the sense that I was extremely stressed between the college classes and some problems in the dorms and trying to finalize and prepare for the Europe trip. But then ultimately, you guys hear me talk about tomorrow is never guaranteed. And obviously, I try to live by that motto all the time. But it's a little bit of a different story when the hospital tells you that they want to have not COVID. It's a little bit of a different story when the hospital says they want to have a cancer test done. So Wednesday night, I went in and I had a test done. I did not know when I was going to get the results. That was the other side of it. They didn't tell me when I could expect results. And afterwards, I was scared to ask. I got back. I have an app on my phone. I could message them. I didn't know if I wanted to message them. I didn't want to rush it. Part of me, yes, I wanted to get the results and I wanted it to be over with. But then the other side of it was like, come on. So Wednesday night, I did take that test. And basically Thursday night, I had a mental breakdown in my suite. As usual, Rocky jumps up on the bed and he gets all wants to cuddle, and he's rolling over and just being a goofball, making me laugh, cheering me up. He's really good with that, because even though the hospital was saying, okay, at this point we want to take a test for cancer, and they were kind of taking it pretty seriously, part of me is like, okay, I'm not super sick, so it can't be that. But at the same time, Thursday night, I just kind of went down that rabbit hole of, okay, well, what if it is? And at that point, am I happy with the life I've had type of deal, which ultimately the answer kind of is the same that I always thought it would be. If it's my time, it's my time. I would go down fighting, obviously, but looking back, it was kind of like all the stuff I did on the road and just throughout my life in general. If I felt fulfilled, I felt like even if it was positive, like no matter what, worst come to shove, um, like I'd be okay with it type of deal. There's a lot that I haven't done in my life, but um hey, I've also done a lot more than most people have. But then you also go down the rabbit hole of, okay, do you have any regrets? And then really, what kind of caused me to have that mental breakdown? What finally caused me the crack and really got me to go down that rabbit hole was, if the tests come back positive, in the best case scenario, even if I fight it and win, I'm probably going to have to take a lot of time to go to the hospital to do chemo or whatever would need to be done, which means, are the residents being taken care of? I want to know that my residents are taken care of. And then that flipped to, oh my God, what would happen to Rocky? Would he be okay? Would I be able to take care of him? Worst come to shove, if it was positive and I lost the battle, what would happen to Rocky? And that's what got me to crack. I was holding up so well. As Lucky noticed, though, I was a bit quiet. And I cracked. But Friday, that's the other thing. Friday, I was going about my days as usual. I practically didn't tell anyone. This is really the first time I'm sharing it publicly. Only a couple people knew. And Friday, I went to work and I worked as usual. I didn't have anything super major going on. It was a bit of a calmer day for me. But in hindsight, that also meant that my mind could focus on it more and it was racing. And I finally Googled it and I just said, how long does it take for a test to come in? And it basically said 24 to 48 hours, 1 to 3 business days. So around 2, 3 o'clock, I opened my app for the hospital. And sure enough, there was a notification saying the test results came in. So sitting in the parking lot because I was about to take a trip downtown for work, actually. Sitting in the parking lot in the vehicle, I sat there for probably 5 minutes and then I finally clicked on open results and it came back negative, which I probably sat there for 20 minutes afterwards, 20, 30 minutes afterwards in that vehicle. And even my RAs, they were like, are you okay? And I just said, I was like, I don't know if I should laugh with relief or just cry tears of joy right now. It was such a bizarre feeling, but it just was so much more of a reminder that tomorrow is never guaranteed. And I talk about that all the time. And it's not that my RAs said that. They said exactly that, do both. It's not that I would regret not being on the road the last year and a half, 2 years. I wouldn't regret that at all. But part of me was kind of like, okay, I got to give myself a little bit more leeway, a little bit more treating myself, a little bit more. Don't be so stern. Don't be like, save up. Yes. Save up. Absolutely. Build. Yes. Build the business. Build your life. Yes. 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 But at the same time, I was like, I need to treat myself. So what ended up happening is, since I have a trip through this tour group for Europe, they gave me VIP access to their Black Friday deals. And for one day only, now this company, you don't have to pay it all at once. Excuse me. You could pay it through a firm. You could pay it monthly. So what I did is I went, and for this one day only, it was Thursday. I hadn't gotten the results back at this time yet. But Thursday I went and I took every single trip that, like, I would regret not doing in my lifetime, basically. So for example, Paris to me is not very high up on my list. Will I go to Paris one day? Probably, and I'm sure I'll love it. But to me, Paris is kind of like everybody wants to go to Paris, and it's very touristy, and that's just not high up on my list, personally. So what I did is I talked to my boss on Thursday and said, remember last year when I went to Pictured Rocks, this is what we did for my vacation time, because I have to use it or I lose it at that point in the year. So I was trying to explain it to her, and she just looks at me and she goes, "You're looking for middle to end of June?" And I said, "Yep." And she's like, "Book it. We'll figure it out later," basically. So I went and made a list. I think 7 to 9 locations, all places that are really high on my bucket list, places that if I did not go there in my lifetime, I would regret missing out. I see Lucky coming in. I'm going to give it just a second. I want to pull up this comment in particular. Lucky is saying Ireland is number one. If I never go to Paris or France, I am good with that. Same exact boat here. And Ireland was actually on that list. So what I did is I created a wheel, a digital wheel on my computer, and I put all 7 to 9 locations on this wheel, and I spun it. And that is where I am going for my summer vacation, middle to end of June, for how many days here? I gotta check this again. I literally didn't matter the price, didn't matter the discount. I put all of them on if it fit with that vacation time, and it was a trip I really, really wanted to do. I put it down and I spun that wheel. So let me see here. Lucky's asking, are you going to Ireland? Unfortunately, Ireland is not the place I am going to. Even better, in my opinion, I am going to Kenya. Middle to end of June, I'm going to go to Kenya for a safari for 10 days. A 10-day safari in Kenya. Now, this was the biggest Black Friday deal. I saved $700 by booking it during Black Friday. I only had to put $5 down, so I'm going to wait to pay the rest off until after my Europe trip. That way, if I go to Europe and I don't like this tour company, which, keep in mind, I've done my research, I've talked to a lot of people, I feel pretty confident about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even considered a second trip through them. But if for some reason I don't like the first trip, I will cancel it and I'll only lose $5. Most likely that's not going to be the case. And then next spring, when I'm taking classes to reward myself, I get overage checks. So I'm going to take the overage check plus a little bit of money out of the savings and whatnot, and I'm going to pay off the Kenya trip. So really, really excited for that. Rocky is going to be boarded again. He's not going to be coming with me to Kenya, but this trip is a little bit different in the sense that my Europe trip is called an essential trip. You share your room with more people. Your breakfasts are included, but for lunch and dinner, you kind of got to fend for yourself. And then basically, this one, they call it a pro trip, which means you're going to have more activities going on. All of your breakfasts are included, but also you get, I don't know if it's every single day. I got to double check it, but I know a majority of your lunches / dinners are also included, and they are buffets. There are what they call 3 game drives. So the safari, where you're out in the vehicle seeing all the animals, there's going to be 3 of those over the 10 days. And I did add the extra activities as well. I paid extra for that. So let me bring those up here so I could read them. Let's see what Lucky says too. I had a feeling based on the title and thumbnail that you were going to Africa somewhere. That's why Ireland confused me when I thought that was what you were going to say. That was one of them that was on my list. There was a chance. I literally spun the wheel. I recorded it for YouTube. When it comes time to make the Kenya video, I got it for YouTube. It was a literal spin of the wheel, all up to chance. No matter what it landed on, I was going to do it. But Kenya, I have to admit, was definitely one of them that was higher up on my list. Everything there can and would eat you. Yes, it can. And part of the trip, I actually have to be careful with that. So, I am not even going to try to pronounce this because I don't want to be disrespectful or anything. But there is a tribe in Kenya. I don't know how to pronounce it yet. I got to do some research. This is all stuff that's all new to me. Part of it is also my passport. I need a visa for this trip as well. I've never needed a visa before. I don't know what a visa is compared to a passport. I got to learn all of this. Speaking of Sikh discomfort, part of me is actually concerned. I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I've heard a lot of the food in Africa is meat-based, which makes sense with all the different animals. And I am not a big meat eater, so that's going to be discomfort right there. I don't want to say, because they do allow options where it's, you could say like vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy, all of that stuff. Nate's saying to bring a MasterCard. I am actually looking at possibly getting a second credit card now. I do think for this trip in particular, Europe, I don't think I'll have a second one by then. If I could, would be phenomenal. But for me, I genuinely think having a second credit card right now in my life would be a really good fit. Just on the sense of it would also help my credit score. But oh, Nate. He's on the ball today. I do have a visa in that sense, but not the one I need. I did do some research, and apparently it's only like 7 days it takes. It's not as long as trying to get a passport, but definitely got to do some more research. So part of the extras on this trip that I paid for is to get a better understanding of Kenya. You go to a small village and you get to meet with the tribe there, and you get to learn about their life and just talk to them and see what their life is like in Kenya. So I'm really excited about that aspect, especially if it's something that I can record and share with you guys, in the sense that I've met so many amazing people and lifestyles and different cultures and just so much diversity upon my travels. And that's something I haven't really shared much, I feel like. In some senses I have, but it part of me, some of my favorite YouTube videos when it comes to traveling is like hearing from locals that actually live there. Lucky saying, try some new foods. You only live once. I definitely am going to, and I'm definitely going to record myself because, like I said, I'm not a big meat eater. So if I eat it and I love it, that's a cool experience to share with you guys. Getting outside of your comfort zone and finding something new. Or I'm going to try it, and like most meat, I'm not going to like it, and I'm probably going to have a weird reaction that I'll probably try to hide because I don't want to like offend anybody. But it's a buffet too, so maybe it's more of a, I don't know, you serve your, it's a buffet. I don't know if an African buffet is different from a US buffet, but you grab a plate, you load it up with food. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. The other one. This is how my trip is going to end. If I was going all the way to Kenya and I was already spending all this money, there was no way I was going to pass this up. On the very last day, on day 10, you wake up early and you start your morning off in a traditional way. You get to track animals from way up high in an hot air balloon. The hot air balloon ride includes breakfast and champagne as you drift across the plains, overlooking zebras, rhinos, big cats, and an African sunrise. That alone is going to be just phenomenal. And one of the reasons I'm super excited about this trip compared to Ireland and the others too is, hopefully I'm wrong here. I'm not saying it's going to go downhill, but I feel like you never know if this is guaranteed, this type of trip, seeing all those animals. I mean, some of the animals are even endangered. So it might be a literal once in a lifetime opportunity, a once in a lifetime trip, and just some once in a lifetime experiences. And then finally, the last one that I added on, which goes back to Nancy's comment here saying that everything there can and would eat you. I am going to Hell's Gate National Park. Now, this is an extra game drive, kind of. It's actually part game drive and part hike. So part of it, I'm going to be in a Jeep or an Overlander or just a vehicle. But Hell's Gate National Park is mainly known for its big cats. So you're going to have lions and all kinds of just big cats on the loose. And we're driving half of it. And then the other half is a hike along gorges. And the hike lasts 1 to 2 hours. They say that it's very uneven terrain and that you need specifically hiking boots or, and I quote, very sturdy shoes. So this is going to be like a real deal. And at the same time of just outside of the hike, you're going to be walking in basically mountains and fields where there are lions roaming free. How's that for seeking a little bit discomfort? And I do promise, in case my mother watches this later on, I will not try to hug a lion. I do some dumb things, but I'm not going to do something that dumb. Now, if a lion jumps into the vehicle with us, that's going to be a cool experience. That I'm not even going to try to hide it. I'm not scared of that. I mean, yes, stuff could go sideways. Yes, We probably, hopefully, won't get that close, but still, it would be a heck of a story and a heck of an experience to share and just look back on, even. So, those are the extras on this. Nate's coming in with the life-saving advice. This is why I say you guys always have to listen to Nate's advice. You only pet the lions. You never hug them. That will save your life. So that is the extras on the trip. You get the buffets. The other pro to this, with it being a pro, that was not even a pun. Another pro to it being a pro trip is that if I died on a trip like that, I know my last words would be "here, kitty, kitty." Lucky is calling me out too. Oh my god, it's gonna be a fun trip. It is gonna be a phenomenal trip. But one of the advantages, the last advantage here to it being a pro trip, is the Europe trip. You share your hotel room with up to 6 other people of the same gender. Now, since it's a pro trip, the hotels are going to be a little bit better quality, and I only share the room with one other person of the same gender. So not too bad. I did ask a friend if he wanted to come with me. I was serious, but also kind of joking, because it was really expensive, even though it was the biggest discount. It was also the most expensive trip out of all of them. And I'm going to be paying it off for quite a while between now and then. But I'm going to be working some extra hours at the college. I see it's lagging pretty bad. I'm going to let it catch up here. Don't give Nate any ideas. Paula wouldn't like it. Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm going to work some extra hours at the college. I've already started working some extra time doing Walmart deliveries. It's not a lot, but like, for example, I did 5 deliveries over the past week. Didn't even take 5 hours worth of my time, and I made about $100. I think it was actually 80, 90, somewhere in there. So not horrible. Basically coming out to $20, $30 an hour. Otherwise, I don't do the deliveries. I just don't deal with them. Right now, I get some bonus pay if it's like big items such as a TV, which this time of year, lots of people buy new TVs because of Black Friday. So trying to play my cards right here, but I did ultimately make a decision that I am not going to buy a property this summer. I'm not going to aim for that, at least. I am going to save up still, but if I bought a property this summer, I probably wouldn't be able to do the trip to Kenya. And if I bought it this summer, it definitely wouldn't be used. It would just sit for at least another year until I was done with the job, minimum. The other sense in it is, as many of you have noticed or noted in the past, buying a property without seeing it in person. I don't know. Part of me thinks it might be a little bit easier to just do that when the job is all said and done, because, again, that is when I'd be using it anyway, if anything. So I am going to save up, but I'm not going to rush it to this summer. Maybe I'll get a camper this summer. I'm not going to rush that though either, because I'm kind of daydreaming here. What are my requirements for a camper? For example, not going to lie, I did Google if a dishwasher could go in a camper today. I hate dishes more than anything. Whether it's on the road or in a suite or in an apartment, I hate dishes. I want a dishwasher so bad. Realistically, in a camper, no. I mean, people have them. Some of them have them, but no. You would need to be plugged in, or you would need to run a generator a lot. But that's all stuff that I got to think about. Plus, there is always birthday and Christmas before the trip. Yes and no. I'm not gonna turn down, like, I get my grandparents send me stuff all the time and stuff like that. But typically my birthday and Christmas, I usually don't get a lot, just being an adult now. And usually it's like gift cards to Target or stuff like that, which in that sense I could use it to buy some items, but I'm already going to Europe, so I have to buy like the neck pillow and stuff like that within the next month anyway. I never use my dishwasher. Nancy, you should donate it to Go Gibbet Community College, specifically the manager suite. Now, I don't know how they would fit it in here or how they would even be able to run it. It's probably impossible, but oh my God, I would cry tears of joy. I see Lucky's saying that they are literally doing dishes at this exact moment. So maybe when the live stream wraps up in 14 minutes, Lucky, can you come over to my place? I have a sink full too, and I'm not looking forward to them. I finished 2 of my classes today, actually. 2 of my programming classes. I am done with programming classes for this semester. I finished 3 out of 4 of my classes. The only reason I haven't finished my 4th one is because it's not self-paced. It's every week that it's updated. Pretty easy stuff for me, though. Last week I had a mock interview. I had to upload a resume. This week, this week I was actually excited too. It's called a persuasive presentation. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep like trying to say I caught myself a couple times, and I've caught myself with Nancy a couple times too. I don't know why I always go that route. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I had this happen this week. There was a lot. Dishes, Kenya trip. Oh, that's what I'm forgetting. I bought something else this week. My wallet hates me. Which it's all on payment plans, and some of it's on the credit card. Not gonna lie. I did not pay for this stuff up front, especially booking a Kenya trip. The other side of it is that I bought a DJI drone, which is like top of the line, one of the best quality drones you could get out there. And this drone is one that was just released not that long ago. It's brand new. I am so excited. It's not going to get here for another 2 to 3 weeks, and I can barely live with that fact, if I'm being honest here. I am so excited for this. For you guys that have been following me for a long time, you know that I've been wanting a drone forever. I even had a really, really old drone when I was on the road, and that was awesome. But the DJI Mini 4 Pro, top of the line stuff here. Let me get rid of my logo and apparently my camera because I just disappeared. I'm struggling. There we go. Good enough. No, I do not want to subscribe. But like the quality of this, it's under 250 grams, so I don't need a license for it. I don't need to do anything like that for it. It's got one battery that is 34 minutes long. The other battery is 45 minutes long. I can go 12 and a half miles, usually, based off of distance. It's got the screen on the camera, which is going to be phenomenal for taking photos, for recording. This is the first one out of the minis that you could actually fold up that are made for traveling. This Active Track 360, you put the path and it tracks you. So this is all footage shot off of the drone, and it's 4K footage. So that's, even though I travel alone, I can get shots of me doing stuff like this without having to hold the controller and drive the thing too. Like, even that shot, just absolutely amazing. And this is also the first mini drone to have this directional obstacle sensing. So it's pretty much like every single direction it can sense if there's an obstacle, and it will autopilot and help you avoid those obstacles. So super, super excited about that. Another thing that was just super expensive, but you only live once. And plus, if I'm allowed, that might be something that's worth taking to Kenya. That very well may be an amazing thing to have with me. In that sense, someone did ask me if I'm going to take it to Europe. I am not. Most of the places I'm going to be in Europe are going to be giant cities like Venice, for example. Giant city. I don't feel comfortable trying to fly. Like, I have some experience with drones, and this is, I think, an upgrade. But I just want to see, am I going to be able to pick up the controller and fly it easily? Am I going to have a hard time? At least I could do it here in Michigan, and if it crashes, it will hit the snowbanks. And really, it shouldn't. Lots of stuff. It avoids obstacles. There's a return to home button. If the battery dies, it automatically returns to the spot that it started. So, like, there's all these different precautions with it. I'm hoping I could catch on pretty easily with it. But yeah, I'm not going to bring it to Europe yet, and give myself some time to practice. And also, too, if you're in those cities, I don't know what the regulations are over there. I don't know what they are in Africa either, but at least I have some time to plan and think for the Africa trip. And on the other sense of it is, it takes up space. Even though it's a mini and it's made for traveling, it takes up space, and I will not have single rooms on either of the trips. So carrying a $1,400 drone, I typically try to avoid asking for trouble when I'm on trips. I don't want to look like a tourist. I don't want to show a bunch of money, stuff like that. Oh, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to do the dishes? I'll do laundry. No problem, but I hate the dishes. Always have, always will. I always joked that the one thing I would do for myself if I ever won the lottery is every time I use the dish, I'd throw it away and I'd just buy a new one. Oh, made mac and cheese in a pan? Throw it away. Time to buy a new one. Yep. And then someone pointed out that maids are a thing. But I don't want to look too stupid. So yeah, I know maids are a thing. I just don't want to do a maid. I would just buy new pans. But that is my roller coaster of a week, from horrible to great to everything in between. I'm alive. I'm kicking. 3 of my 4 classes are done. Nancy is saying new socks every day. Rocky has his treats. That was a very late delay. That was very delayed. Do you want treats? Good boy. You pressed your button. Good boy. Let's give you a treat. Turn the camera around. You guys know the drill. Okay, I'm pressing it. I'm here. Oh. Can you guys hear him? He's just spamming it now. Give me a second. I gotta warn people that I'm moving the camera. And that it's a mess, as usual. I swear one of these days it's gonna get cleaned up. Okay. Back up, back up, back up. There you go. Are you gonna carry it? Yep, you're gonna carry it away. Go ahead. Apparently, he doesn't want to be on camera for you guys because he's running away with it. He's done that every single time I've given him one today. I've probably given him 7 at this point, and every time he brings them into the living room. Did you guys notice how gentle he takes it, though? That's one of the things I am so proud of myself with, because when the second owner had him, Rocky would bite your fingers off. He was horrible with that. And then I trained him, and now he is very, very, very gentle when he takes his treats. Yeah. I really got to figure out a camera quality and clean up the mess. That's another thing. It takes up a significant amount of room. But that is basically the live stream for the night, guys. I see I'm 3 minutes away from the top of the hour. I don't think anyone is going live. I checked Van Vita Travels. I checked Van Life Rocks. I checked quite a few. Yeah, I don't think there was any. I don't think there was any that I saw. So we'll just be wrapping it up. I'm not even going to try the final 3 minutes here. Basically, that was it, though. Positive stuff, negative stuff, turned to positive stuff. A scary week, an eventful week, but stuff to look forward to. I swear, guys, that drone, you're going to see so much stuff with that drone. I mean, I can even just film me and Rocky running across a snow-covered field. Oh my God. Okay, now I am stalling a little bit. Talking about snow, it is middle of November. You guys need to mark this down because, like, I cannot believe it. It is middle of November right now. And the grass, like, you could still see grass. There is no snow on the ground at all here in Ironwood, Michigan. It has snowed a couple times. Every time it does, it's barely anything, specifically here in Ironwood. Again, half an hour away from us. Yeah, you might get 8 to 16 inches in one night, but here in Ironwood, we barely get anything. And within hours, if not hours, within a single day, it melts and you are back down to beautiful green grass. And this week, throughout the entire week, it looks like we are going to be in the 50-degree range. So that is, yeah, even right now, it was 48 degrees today. Nothing but sunshine. It's going to be 54 degrees on Thursday. Like, that is just completely unheard of. And I am not complaining. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to leave the live stream on that positive note. I see Lucky saying 43. Do you have snow, Lucky? I don't have any snow. I'm guessing you don't if it's 43. It is phenomenal. What a good way to end the live stream. Between the drone, the trip to Kenya, and the best news of all, there's no snow and 50-degree weather. Absolutely amazing. Cat Life's coming in at the end here saying no snow in Utah yet at all either. It's amazing. I won't complain. Little secret between us, I won't complain if it's a green Christmas. But Yeah, I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you for stopping in. And I'll see you all next Sunday. Um, don't know. Maybe we'll play some games. We'll talk a little bit more. But definitely next Sunday, 7 p.m. as usual. So until then, take care. And Nate, if you're still in here, I am going to be first on your live stream Wednesday. I swear, every single Wednesday, I keep checking it 50,000 times. And then the days that I have something going on, we need to get back on a schedule here because too many people are starting to beat me and I don't like it. So I will see you guys maybe on Wednesday even in Nate's live stream. Take care.